What's going on, world? It's your boy Gemini Brown here, back with another episode of Nalo Kicking Knowledge, coming to you live from the Mystical Illuminations YouTube channel. So, I've been checking out the content. This is like some really cool shit. The Aquarius energy. Shout outs to everyone a part of the team. I love it. So I was checking out a video from Christy Aphrodite, and I'm probably gonna title this similar to what she did. So if you like that, you'll check this out. And she was talking about hopping dimensions, and I just wanted to provide my perspective. It's a conversation, so we're all building here, and I want to build off of that because I understood where she was going with there. So I'm a Gemini, so let's use the word dimension. Let's break it down or simplify it as she was doing in the video. And dimension is one of those words where you probably think it's more extravagant than it actually is. I look at dimension in like two ways. The physical aspect of something, so it's dimensions and its length and all of that. And then so keep that in mind. There's like a physical aspect to having a dimension. So we're here in the 3D dimension, and think about what that means. Then the next way you can look at a dimension is just simply as an aspect or an element of something, which is just a thing. So astrology is a spiritual dimension of life. All right. And now let's go into it more. So I'm tuned into this dimension. So then it's like one of those overlapping things where, for the sake of it, you can also associate your dimension or dimensions. Well, all dimensions have frequencies, all right? And then in terms of my perspective of hopping certain dimensions is being able to shift into certain frequencies. All right. And here in life, that's like different areas of life. So I'm an artist. I have this, like I said, astrology is one dimension within my life. My mundane, practical life is musical, or different dimensions. And in those different dimensions, I vibrate differently. And from there, being in those dimensions, you thoughts come. You'll want to further build within those dimensions. So we're like, once again, we're here in the earth realm, the earth dimension. This universe. And Christy also has said in the video about multiverses that she believes it's a multiverse. For me, tomato. All I know is that we're not alone, and the understanding, from my understanding, like with a multiverse, the key thing is that you'll want to keep in duality, right? And then that's the next thing I think, at least from my perception of how different dimensions have been portrayed via things like television. So when they display different dimensions, it's normally parallel, right? Parallel, but underlying, it's a duality there. So if one likes, simplifying, if one is light in this reality, or an expression or energy signature dominantly light in this dimension, and the next it may be dominantly dark, right? So with that, you can just take that in your own life as like, I have my higher self, my lower self, whatever, and I shift into different dimensions by the choices I make. And then furthermore, like you can raise your vibration, your frequency, switch your dimension and perspective by simply letting things go. Being honest, everything goes together. So relating this to shifts and all of this. Obviously, when you make certain changes, that allows, certain chakras to open up and then energy flows. And then I would say at this part in my journey, like in terms of like channeling, and then understanding a frequency with that, like it's a simple, like one thing I do is put myself within nature. And you could look at that as, well, it really is a huge part of life, the nature kingdom, it's there, it's all around. So me personally, I really kind of tune into that frequency as a whole, and then go from there. So if I feel blocked, clouded, right, in a particular area, place, I'll go and just tap into the dimension or frequency that I need to get, like, back to my baseline. And within it, so just think of it itself, within itself, nature is a whole dimension, right? And then if I go in this direction, you have forests, you have beaches, you have mountains, which everything has a resonance. So then think about it in the sense of, okay, I'm gonna go live in one of these places. So think about a person who lives in a mountain area, right? Food for thought, Tibet. That's where the grand, ashram for the Buddhists are. Think about life there. If say Buddhists wanted to, like, become modernized in the sense of how they live and all of that, do you really think they can modernize Tibet, the essence of Tibet? It just would just need to be certain. That's all energy. And then I say all this to say that, so you living in a particular place geographically even captures a particular dimension or, frequency that, affects you. And then the choices that'll come to you. So if I bring this in astrologically, say someone lives in a place where it's like the let's say it's lower vibrational from the standpoint of being able to play on that person's particular desires, and astrologically, the energy just matches up where the person doesn't even realize that the energy is so low because it plays towards particular desires of theirs, right? But then going with the idea of choices, say this person finally moves away from this place with that energy and gets a new, fresh, and they just make new decisions. I'm gonna stop doing this. They really, you have less of an urge to do particular things, and then boom, you living in this new place, and boom, you can tap into a new dimension depending on what's around you. Like me, astrologically, I will, if I see certain aspects, I'll counsel somebody in the sense of, you should live near water, okay? Or you should do this to maintain yourself in whatever ways. And then all of this leads back to this same idea of being able to shift realities, perspective, dimensions. And this topic is really a key thing because, I would say a key subtle thing, because it's always happening based on thoughts, choices. So it's a journey, right? You're supposed to get to this destination, but every time you make a choice or make a move, it goes in another direction, still to get you there. But shit, how I could liken it to a GPS. You make the wrong turn or whatever. That shit says like you got 20 minutes left, and then that shit goes to like 30 minutes. Like, damn, I missed this turn and 10 minutes came on. Yeah, it works kind of like that. And then ultimately when you shift yourself into the correct dimension or perspective, and like even doing this, you monitor it because it's simultaneous. There's simultaneous dimensions, right? From this perspective that we're talking about. So you're here now in this one with your spiritual attunement, and you feel a certain way, right? So think about how you feel after you take in, one of these videos, motivated, That's, the frequency raising it up. But then in another sense, whether it be through a friend, a partnership, or whatever, frequency could go down and all of that. So I'm gonna leave this here. But it was a great talk, and I look forward to continue building off, the energy of the others. So this is my perspective. I hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to let me know what you think. As you know, if you guys want to book a session, feel free to hit the link, set something up. Until next time, peace.